Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another fun episode of DevChatter. My name is Brendan Enrick, and today is Tuesday, June 19th. Hello, welcome. Hey, Blub. Hello, everyone. First off, I want to thank a couple of channels that auto-hosted us right at the beginning of this stream. So if you are suddenly hearing me talk, I hope you are ready for some C# and ASP.NET Core development. We are going to start another stream here. It'll be fun. Hey, Async Awake. Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone in chat who is sitting around not typing. I hope you are all having a fantastic Tuesday and a good start to your week. A couple of things I want to talk about before we get started here. We have a pull request sitting around that I am going to get merged probably in a day or two. Katrina, hey, welcome. This one is a large one. It's a new game that was added to our bot by one of our viewers. I'm a big fan of the game. It's a deal or no deal, press your luck, sort of press your luck kind of game. Works sort of like the namesake here, the game show, and not exactly the same, but pretty similar. So we're gonna have fun adding that to our bot. Let's see, anything in here we need to talk about? Nope, no views to, no issues to talk about there. What else do we want to chat about before we get started? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. My sub-orn. Welcome, Crimson Green. Thank you for the 4-month subscription. That's very awesome. It also gave me the opportunity to do the terrible dance from that 90s movie. Yes, that literally is the dance. They like just move their head like this. I don't know. It's from an SNL sketch. Okay, so the thing I wanted to talk about, we have... let's see... Oh, nope, I didn't put them on here yet. Okay, surprise guest coming soon. The stream does need more cowbell, Angablade. There's actually a cowbell up there on top of a bookshelf. I got it from a conference, actually. Crimson Green knows the cowbell I'm talking about. I think he has the same one, actually. Developer conference. Sent everyone a cowbell. I don't know. It's crazy. Yes, please open an issue about needing more cowbell. Okay, so a couple of things. There were a couple of issues that people put in our stream info section for us. So this is where you go if you want to tell us something about the stream. They requested videos be put on our YouTube channel, and I did want to let people know that I ended up finding those, so I closed those issues. So they are things like couldn't find the archive movie for the beginning of GameTracker, and that is actually going to go live on Friday. It's actually scheduled to be on YouTube. And let's see, the other thing, I have this here, so if you have suggestions for our special event stream that we're going to be planning, I've got ideas, and I have talked with some guests already. So Async Awake, you actually suggested that we get Saduki to hang out for that special event. I'd actually already asked her about doing this special event, and I also asked our Dallas about it. If any of you remember the day that I did the in real life raid on C# Fritz's stream by Saduki and I basically showed up in the back of the stream when they had our Dallas as a guest, and that same day I talked with them about doing this special event stream. So they are both on board already. So hence why I mentioned short list for those two. So whatever we do, we're going to at least have them in there, so that will be fun. And as Async Awake mentions, I did manage to track down the video where we created the projects for the bot. So if you are interested in seeing how we started that project and see pretty much everything starting at the beginning, go check out our YouTube channel, and you'll find a link for that down below, and you'll be able to watch it there. Okay, so I think those are the main things I wanted to say. Oh, and the special event I'm talking about, we had a goal of reaching 1,024 followers on the channel, which we achieved this past week. So as a result, we are scheduling our special event. So it is going to be fun. We're going to do some kind of group thing. So it's either going to be a day-long workshop or something like that, where we bring people in and we work on stuff together, changing out who the pair is. So that's one concept. Another one is I would like to do some kind of a competition at some point where we pit developers against each other. Whether I'm one of the ones competing or not, I haven't decided yet. I could see going either way on that. And then in terms of the last suggestion there, I have a panel discussion. So I was thinking it might be an interesting idea to have a group of experts on similar or related topics, discuss different ways of doing things. So I thought that would be a fun panel discussion. So let me know your thoughts on that, and we'll take a look. Looks like a couple of people have thumbs upped that already. Hey, one of them's Ardalis. See? He approves of being involved in that, apparently. Okay. Other things to talk about. I am planning a Learn to Program series. I want to tell you all about this. Essentially, I want to do a series of episodes where we do from scratch beginner level programming stuff. So simple programs that you can start to finish, just, build this and, learn a little bit more about programming. So this will be good for people who actually haven't even started C#. It's also good, it should be good for junior programmers, or really just anyone that wants to go back and re-remember some of the basics and just have fun writing this code. Most of the stuff we're going to do is pretty simple, but some of them are still going to be fairly interesting. So, for example, prime numbers is a simple one to write, but there's a lot of cool optimizations you can do with that one. And then there's some other fun things that you could do, like number guessing and dice rollers. You could get fairly complicated with some of these things if you want. So if you already are familiar with software, you could definitely do some cool stuff with that. So I will make sure I'm really clear on the dates of this event, because I want to be able to have a lot of people here who are not normally are not professional software developers. I want it to be open to a lot of people, so I will give you guys a lot of advance notice about this one, but expect to hear about it. And if you want to be involved in discussions about this kind of stuff, check out our Discord channel, which again is a link that you can find down below the video. Okay, so you guys are smart, so you probably all figured out that, well, this stuff was on the screen behind me. And this is not a chatbot, nor is this our rock, paper, scissors program. So I felt it was time to get back to our GameTracker program. Now, part of the reason I want to do this is I want to get so I want to make sure that we have authentication and authorization in this project. And the reason why is that I want us to be able to log in. So here's our goal for the day. I want us to be able to log into a user account. Once we've logged into that user account, I want to be able to add a rating to a game. So if we view the list of games, I want, as a logged in user, to be able to add a rating to that game, to say whether or not I liked it or I didn't like it. I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking a scale of a few points, say like 1 to 5 stars or something like that. We might not do like a fancy little star thing just to leave that open, but for now, we'll put in some kind of a rating system. I might just do a drop-down list, and just for simplicity's sake, so someone else later can decide what we want for the UX for that. And the reason we're building this is that I then want to bring on Guy Royce so that we can actually build the machine learning piece that we want to get in here. So that is our goal. We want to do machine learning. We want our GameTracker to predict what games you want to... welcome, Thunder for Speed. Thanks for following. Yeah, Blub, I will explain that in a second. So essentially the idea is we want to be able to get that information so that we can predict future games that you might like. So I thought that'd be a cool thing to have Guy come on and do. It's actually his idea, so we are going to do that one. Let's see, I missed a couple of things in chat. What are they? A Docker stream would be nice. Yes, I agree, Blub. I absolutely need to do a Docker stream sometime. You should have like 5 or 6 devs trying to explain to your wife how to code all at once. Yeah, Crimson Green, that would go well. Oh, and Async Awake, yeah, no problem. Yeah, so what Async Awake's talking about, if you notice that chat box over there, it is a little above where it was, so you'll notice right here you have the chat box, but right down below it you can see our Git information right there, so you can tell what branch we're on. So that's what he was talking about there. And then Blub, our GameTracker program is this. So we want to be able to so I mentioned that we want to be able to get your rating, but we also want you to be able to record that you played this game with your friends, what game you played, when you played it, and who won the game. And if someone taught the game, you might do that. We want to do this so you could record this information, have interesting stats, and it's a fun little program that we could do. So, Exploding Pickle. You're new here. So we usually do back-end web development programming or other C# and .NET programming. So we've done console applications and we've done web applications primarily here. We're going to do some front-end web development on here as well. In terms of game programming, the things that we do for that are primarily limited to simple games, so we have yet to do anything with, like, say, Unity or something along those lines, but that's certainly not out of the realm of possibility. And welcome, Exploding Pickle. Thank you for following. Okay, so, Blub, let me know if that wasn't enough explanation of GameTracker, and I will provide more information. And if anyone has any questions about our projects, feel free to shout them out, and we'll go ahead and get them answered. So, jumping in this code here, the first thing I noticed, we have a little green squiggly here from ReSharper. So this code here is the pull request that we got and merged in a while back, and this is suggesting that we use string interpolation instead of a string format. So if you haven't seen string interpolation, it basically looks like this. You start off your string with a $sign, and that basically tells C#, hey, I'm going to insert values into this string, and what that means is it looks for curly braces, and then as soon as you have curly braces, you can actually use symbols from the language. So, this right here. Oh! Yeah, Blub, what's Board Game Geek? Board Game Geek is a website that I am willing to open on stream. I feel fairly safe opening this one. So, Board Game Geek is this website that apparently I've visited on stream before, because it did that. Don't be scared by the not exactly great UI of this site. This is like the site for board game stuff. So if you wanted to see what the most popular board games are right now among like board game fanatics, this is where you would find that out. So games like Pandemic Legacy is very popular, Terraforming Mars. You all would be disturbed by how many of these games I've played, but this is Board Game Geek. It has a massive database of games, including my favorite board game, which I happen to know the ID for in their system. It is ID number 1. This is actually my favorite board game. If there are any German viewers in there, in our chat today, you would recognize that this is very clearly a German board game, not an American board game, and it is actually a board game about German politics, which shouldn't surprise anybody that, you know, a nerd that, you know, programs, for example, might be interested in a board game about German politics. So it's a very fun game. It's very complex. We will not be playing it on stream. I apologize about that. But the significance is that they have a massive database of both games as well as ratings. And actually, something else I should have shown you while I was on here is the mechanics of these games. So I want to show you the important thing that we're going to pull out of this. So this site has a database that includes, where is it? Hang on. Classification. So it knows that this game is a strategy game. It includes economics, negotiation, and politics. It uses certain mechanisms like area control and area influence, auction and bidding, dice rolling, hand management. So there's all these different things that it knows about the game. So we want to leverage that and basically say that if you liked this game, for example, that has, this type category and all these same mechanisms, you probably like games that have those same type, category, and mechanisms. So if we can essentially use machine learning to teach the program what kind of stuff you like, then it should be able to predict other games that you would enjoy. Is that bad that I'm German and never heard of DevChatter? No, it's not bad. So this is, I mean, we're all nerds here, and we are all interested in different nerdy things. See, the funny thing is, 1 second, guys. I actually have multiple editions of this game, including a copy of the first edition. So, I wasn't kidding when I said it's my favorite board game. So, it is a very good one. And there we go. Yeah, that is an old game. Because this copy is, what year is the original one from? I don't remember. Anyway, so we want to be able to do board game type stuff. It sounds fun. So, and that kind of prediction thing is an interesting one. And fits well into a lot of the wheelhouse of a lot of programmers. Many of us are, not just programmers, but nerds of other variety as well. So, let's get ourselves a branch. So we're going to make a new branch. We're going to call this one... I said we're doing authorization and authentication stuff. So we're going to say... actually, maybe game ratings. We'll call it game ratings. Authorization's a side effect of that, because we'll want you to be logged in order to give us a rating. And I am going to commit this as a separate commit anyway and put it in this branch because I don't want to do a separate pull request for it. Use string interpolation. I'm going to go ahead and commit that. And let's continue on. So I want to, first off, open a new tab there just to make sure that it believes that is my active window. And I'm going to run this project. I don't remember the exact state of it. We haven't worked on it in a while. But it is an ASP.NET Core website, and I am actually realizing I should confirm the version of ASP.NET Core that we're running here, just to make sure that this is a 2.1 site and not a 2.0 site. Ooh, it is still a 2.0. Okay, so that actually gives us the chance to do one extra thing. So what we're going to do is ASP.NET Core 2.1 upgrade from 2.0. So they actually have detailed instructions for this on the documentation, so I am going to do this so that you guys can see like what those aren't the ones. Where's the official one? How did he get his site above these ones? Probably exactly the same. Okay, so the first thing's the obvious one. Change your target framework. So The reason why I'm not afraid of showing you guys the CS proj files in .NET Core is because of how simple these have gotten. You'll notice that the entirety of this fits on my screen. I can show it to you all at once, so it is no longer a scary place. So we upgrade that. The next thing that we need to do is we need to get rid of all of the .NET CLI tool references. So in earlier versions, we needed to reference these tooling packages, and these were basically pieces that helped us do stuff like code generation and things like that inside of Visual Studio. So for our project, we would have all these little we would have these little tools that would do some of the extra work. Those aren't needed; they're included by default now. The other thing that we need to do, the big one, is change from all to app. So notice before they had Microsoft ASP.NET Core All. We now want to have ASP.NET Core.app. So this is a special dependency. The .all and .app packages that get included here, they have dependencies on most of the other packages, and so that's how they work. Included in them is Entity Framework, so I don't need this one. And then Visual Studio Code Web Design. Do we actually need that one? I'm not sure if we do. But if we do, I think it adds it back in for me. Well, let's do this. But I'm pretty sure it can go away. Okay. So when I told you that this file is simple, I mean, check this out. Here's all the information that's in here. This line tells it that it's a web project, and literally it's the word web. If it were a console application, for example, it would look like this. So that's the only difference. Having this here, this tells it, go ahead and include all the packages that are going to be required for doing ASP.NET Core development. And then these are just here as the internal references to my other projects. So if you take a look, I have 3 other projects, and this is just references to them. So if I, only had one web project, I mean, it would be... This would be the entirety of our CS project file, which is amazing that Microsoft has actually gotten us this clean of a file. So I was thrilled, even though we didn't get the JSON files that they were originally trying to get us. These are dead simple XML files, so I say good enough. Okay, so that should be the only changes that we need to make. And the reason I wanted to point out this documentation is that if you're going to go ahead and do this on one of your projects where you maybe started ASP.NET Core 2.0 development already, you can just go through this list to make sure that you don't miss anything. Okay, so the main method in our program simplifies a little bit also. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. So here we go. So instead of build web host args, they now have create web host builder is what they recommend doing. So we're going to do that. So this is the new default thing. And instead of returning back a web host, it returns back a web host builder. Whoops. And then so instead of doing that, we then call build here and then run. So instead of calling build at the end of this, I wonder if that's all we do. Create default builder, use startup. Create default builder, use startup. Yep, okay, I guessed what it was. So that's all we have to set up here. Now, if you don't like this structure, keep in mind that this is just C# code, so you can just do that. So now this doesn't match exactly with the default setup that you would get when you create a new ASP.NET Core 2.1 project, but if you don't like expression-bodied methods, you can go ahead and put the curly braces there. If anyone didn't see that change, essentially, in C#, if you don't know, expression-bodied members is this. Basically, instead of doing curly braces, you can have a same-line method just using that fat arrow there, and it's sort of treated like an expression. So this is an expression, and it is the entire body of this method. So that's why we call it an expression-bodied method. I like them in some cases when it's going to be a simple thing, but for this I actually think this is a little bit clearer. So I am going to recommend putting it this way. Okay, I'm going to clean up my usings up here. The keyboard shortcut I use for that is Control-RG, as in like really good. And it cleans that up for me, and that is actually a Visual Studio shortcut, I should mention. Okay, so the next thing we need to update is our startup method. So let's jump over to startup, which I'm going to go to definition on this. It was right next to it also. I could have opened it there. Okay, in here we have so what did they do? All changes are newly added code except that use browser link has been removed. Okay. So configure services. So right here, it's this. Inside of this, they have cookie policy, which I'm really glad they added a cookie policy, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't know GDPR well enough. So I am, in fact, I don't know most of those rules well enough. So I'm glad that Microsoft is starting to put into the tooling things to help you with that, so you can go figure out what you need to do in terms of like recording that and get it working right. Welcome, Honey Pop. This Lambda determines whether the user consents to non-essential cookies is needed for a given request. Sounds good. On services.addMVC, they added a compatibility version that we're going to go ahead and add. So keep in mind that this is Fluent, so so this addMVC returns back an IMVC builder object, and when we get that object, we want to set the compatibility version on it, so it has this, and then it itself is going to return back that same object so the next one can continue it, and for that we're going to add our Razor pages. So notice that it has conventions for authorizing folders and pages, so that tells it that everything under account manage you have to be logged in order to do. And then it also says that you need to be logged in order to use the logout action. Both of those things make a lot of sense. You obviously don't want to manage your account if you're not logged in, and you don't want to log out if you're not logged in. We are going to use this convention as well, probably, to lock down some of our authorization. Specifically, we're probably going to have an MVC action for recording your rating, and then that is actually going to get locked down. So, because that's probably going to be under like a review of a game or something like that. Okay, let's open this back up again and take a look at what the next thing is. So inside of configure, which is going to be our next method down here, they tell us to add this. Where do they want us to use this when it's not development? And technically they put it after there, so I will do as they say. I think only one of these it actually matters for. So, use static files, good with me. Okay, so HTTPS redirect and cookie policy. We have authentication, use MVC. I think that's pretty much it. Okay. Changes to Razor pages, project Razor file, the layout, CSHTML file. Okay. Let's open this up as well. So, layout, CSHTML. Inside of accounts manage, that's not the one I wanted. Although maybe they both have it. Let's see. Oh, cookie consent partial. Right. Okay. So out here inside of our pages, inside of layout, So opening the correct layout this time. jQuery changes from 220 to 331. So 3, 3, whoops, 3, 3, 1. And then I need a partial for the cookie policy. Now I want to see where that was supposed to get added. I'm not sure where that partial's supposed to be. What's it look like? Change the Razor Pages project files. Layout moves to Pages shared layout. Okay, so folder shared. Move this into there. The layout has... Yeah, where did they add that partial? You guys want to tell me where you put that partial? Wish they would have told me where they put this. That would have been nice. There's your hint. I know the word. The Hangman game going on in chat. That's what I'm talking about. There's a Hangman game. Let's see. Okay, here's how we're going to make this work. I am going to open up a new instance of Visual Studio. No, that's not in the word. There you go, Blub. You got it now. Congratulations, Async Awake. You won the game of Hangman. We didn't all die. Alright, so we're going to do this. We're going to put it in dev scratch. And we're going to say ASP.NET Core Web Application. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to choose Core 2.0. And I am going to pick Web Application. And we're going to say Authentications. Store user accounts and app connecting. Yep, there we go. Now, I wanted to have that on there because the files we use do have authentication, so I want to get an example file. So I'm doing this just so I can grab the layout file it creates for us, because it's going to be pretty much the same thing as ours. So, shared. So basically everything in the shared folder is just going to be these. So we're going to have one of these, a cookie consent partial. So inside of our shared folder in pages shared, we're going to have add new item, and I'm going to go ahead and let it be class because I'm going to rename it anyway. I just want the first thing. I'm going to change the extension, it'll be fine. Alright, so now we have this. Gonna hop back over here. Whoops, meant to open this one. There we go, cookie consent partial. I have a feeling there's nothing namespacey about this. So, there is our partial eye tracking consent feature, show banner. Blah, blah, blah. Hidden event message. Okay, that looks great. Close that one. On our layout, we want to do this. Looks like the consent partial is right above the body. So right here is where it lives. This is what I wanted them to tell me. That they... Nope, whoops. They didn't tell me that. I just wanted to know where it goes. Is that so much to ask? Okay. Three, 337. Wow, they didn't update that. Okay. So that looks like that got fixed. Now, the login partial. We're going to move that up, because I'm pretty sure that just moved. And our login partial. Right here. It's not the same. So it uses ASP.NET Core identity, GameTracker data. So that's kind of interesting. What do we use GameTracker data for? Get username maybe? User? Claims principal? No? I'm not sure what we're using that for, to be honest. Forms, area, identity. That's interesting. That did change a lot more significantly than I expected. Whoops. Helps if you actually copy it here. Okay. You got a job in an area with Microsoft products, C#, ASP.NET primarily. Oh! Lord Bourne, that's fantastic news. Congratulations. Okay, so there's an area, identity, pages, view start, huh? We don't have an area yet. That's interesting. So we're going to create a folder of areas. So areas are a cool web concept. They essentially give you like named sections of pages in this case. So inside of areas, we're going to do a folder called identity. And then we're going to say pages. So keep in mind we can do more than just pages in here. We can do any of our web stuff in here. So doesn't just have to be pages. Is view start just moved up there? No, it's in both places. So I'm going to hold the control key so it makes a copy up here. So now in this project, I'm going to open up this view start. Nice. It literally was that simple. Okay. So our login partial should be fairly similar now. Let's see. Yes, congratulations. That really is fantastic. Lost a bit in all these abstractions. Yeah, Lord Bourne, you will get used to all of this. Everything we do in ASP.NET, it all boils down to the same thing. All of your web stuff, at the end of the day, is just creating some kind of textual data for the most part. So in this case, we are creating HTML files that get rendered by your browser, but we also sometimes return JSON data that is used by JavaScript. So just never use GoTo in C#. Honeypop, yes. Yeah, yeah, no, you should never use goto. That is a bad idea. Don't use goto. Okay, so return index, new area that nav bar. Hey, what a lovely day. Welcome. Thank you for following. You're gonna have to give me a second to read that name. Okay, I'm gonna add an ASP area to this. Whoops. So, identity, there, manage, hello, so-and-so. Log out. Yeah, I like our log out as 2 words. And other than that, ooh, identity user. I'm wondering if maybe we should be using that instead. Yeah, I could take a guess, but I can tell you I'm going to butcher that name, but welcome anyway. Yeah, I'd need a language to even take a guess. Let's see, I like to have static class, which is a sort of singleton, but in theory creates its own instance. Yeah, Honeypop, there is actually a pattern for that, and that often is called a singleton. Oh, sorry. Nightbot thought that was a link. ADO.net is in fact not, I mean, it technically is a link, but it's not a link. I think connection pool, even with Entity Framework, is managed low level. Let's see, you have one question. When using an instance of DB context, should you use multiple instances or have one like a singleton? Like, should all classes that need DB context have their own? You want to have multiple instances of it. So the idea is, a lot of times what people do with DB context when they're doing a web project is they will have it be generating a new DB context for each request. So what that means is when a user hits your website, they navigate to one of your pages, you want it to create a new instance of the DB context then, and then go through all the work, and then right before it passes back to them, giving them the HTML that they requested, that is essentially the lifetime of that DB context that you want to have. So request-based is usually the best one because you don't want that to be long-lived. There are some exceptions to that. If you are doing a client-based application, so say you're doing, WinForms, WPF, Windows app, something like that, you might keep it around for a longer time frame. So that would be the instance where you'd do that. So okay. I'm realizing it might be easier to just start from the new project and pull in our stuff into it. I thought controller lifetime, but yeah, request. Yes, exactly, Lordborn. Request is the time frame you want. Yep. Okay. There we go. Jump back to this one. Shared validation scripts partial. So this just moved in here. Did it significantly change? Oh, it updated to new versions. There you go. Okay, that ought to be fine. You know what I just realized? I just realized something interesting here. Init button navbar link on the login partial for the logout. Form as identity account logout. Hang on. Where's this log out? I'm actually not sure where this does its log out from. That's kind of funny. Yeah, that's weird. I don't actually know where they do that one. Let's take a look. Holy crap, it's not actually there. I wonder if they move this into the actual library, so we include it when we include the package for identity. Did they seriously hide that page from us? So let me show you what I'm talking about. I guess I hadn't realized it disappeared because I don't look at it normally. Okay, so this is ASP.NET Core 2.0. So this piece is. Let me show you how this is ASP.NET Core 2.1. Let me show you how. Yeah, they refactored. I know, but they did it in a way where I don't see where they do the code they're doing. So I want to show you that. So in the past, here's what they did. They had a controller called account controller. Now you might say, wait, why did they have account controller? That doesn't make any sense. Because, hang on, because they already have an account folder inside the pages section, and the account folder includes a whole bunch of pages right here that handle all the various things we do. So this handles, you know, forgot password, confirm email, login, etc. And a signed out, past tense. What it doesn't have is a logout page. It does not have a place to actually log out. It does not have a sign out. It doesn't have any of those. And the reason for that is that in the partial for this, so shared, the login partial here, this is going to appear on all of the pages. Yeah, I think that should be past tense here. So yeah, see, this is this should be locked out, not lockout. So here's the significant thing. Because this is going to appear on all pages, it doesn't make sense for this code here to reference a backend page. So what they did was they had this talk to a controller, the account controller. So the account controller has, you know, /account/logout, and that's what you actually call. So that hits this right here and does a sign out async action that it awaits, and then logs that the user logged out and redirects you to the index page. Now that's actually funny that it takes you to the index page because it doesn't take you to the logged out page. Why is there a logged out page if we're not going there? Either way, it's a smart setup for this. I liked the way that they did this in the initial version. But I am realizing that we need to make some changes. So what we're going to do is this. I am going to make a copy of the GameTracker project because I want to save this so we don't lose it. Yeah, no one logs out in 2018. Who cares about security? You know, just keep that cookie forever. You know, don't worry about closing that session. Just make sure anybody can get access to your account. No one's worried about that. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Since, remember, we have source control here, so don't worry too much. What I'm going to do is save that name. And I'm going to check in properties here, just make sure there's nothing crazy. Nope, nothing crazy. And what I'm going to do is remove. Goodbye. Yeah, that's fine. You can save it. I'm not worried about that. Okay, so it has been now removed from the File Explorer as well. So I just went over to File Explorer and deleted it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go in, we're going to go ahead and add a new web project. So we're going to do .NET Core, ASP.NET Core Web Application, and we are going to call it exactly what the previous one was named. It is going to be a .NET Core 2.1 web application that uses individual user accounts, because they apparently significantly changed identity to the point where I don't want to do that conversion, because that is going to be annoying. That is too many steps to get that switched over, so we're just going to do it like this. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's go ahead and do this. Jump over into the copy I saved. And we have players, games, game records. So what I am going to do is I'm going to grab the stuff that I know that we created, and I'm going to copy that over into our new project. So our new areas have been copied over. So those should appear over here now. So if we open up pages, we will see game records, games, and players all appear here now. So that's good. Let's go ahead and build this. We're not going to build just yet, but we're going to be close. Oh, before I do that, let me add some references. So I need to add a reference. And I want to add references to the 3 projects that we are connected to. I have no idea how I missed these streams, even though I check programming a lot. Lord Bourne, I don't know. So we stream actually 4 times a week here. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Although I will say our number of viewers is usually higher than most of the other programming streams. So thank you, everyone who is here on a regular basis and makes that happen. You are all what make this channel fun. So where did I save those? Copy, view models. So I'm going to grab a view models thing, switch over here, paste it in. So view models appears. Let's see. The Twitch search is not good at finding programming streams. Async Awake, part of the challenge there is you have to, if you're going to stream programming on Twitch, make sure that you're in the programming category. That's the big one. If you're not in the programming category, you won't appear in the list. So, welcome to the currently most popular programming stream. Okay, so we have this view model on here. Let's see, what else are we missing? Game view model? Nope, nope. Okay. I think that may have gotten most of our build errors fixed. I am going to take a look at what else we've got. Areas, identity, nope. I meant to be over here. Extensions. Properties, services, view models, root. Okay, cool. It's better to search under the community page, communities programming. I think that's what I pulled up. Hang on. You guys are saying, and I am listening, you are saying that you go to Twitch and you say communities programming, assuming I can type. Oh yeah, you're right. Hey, there you go. So instead of a category, it's a community. Totally different thing. So where does that show up here? Is that this one? Yeah, okay. And so some of them are under creative and some are talk shows and things like that. There you go. Yeah, well, no, programming can be under any category still. So, because that's a talk show, this is programming, that's creative. And this is apparently programming a game. So, yep, different things. So, yeah, I didn't know they switched that one. So, cool. Very neat. Let's see. Yeah, Async Awake, I actually originally streamed as creative also, and then I found there was a programming category. And it made sense to me to be in both the programming category and programming community, instead of being under creative. Because it makes more sense, because really what I'm doing is programming. Alright, let's... yeah, Async Awake hates threads. Let me take a look here. First off, in www root, I need to change a couple of things. I do not want these banners. I hate those banners. Goodbye, banners. Let's see, what next? The index page needs to get cleaned up because I do not want these carousels on here. Did I have anything interesting in my index file before? That I don't remember. Looks like the carousel was still there before. Oh, cool, I got rid of the carousel. That is good news. I don't want the carousel there, so... Whoops. Set this as the startup project, please. Oh, other things I need to do. I have to open this up. I almost forgot I need to adjust to the other one's user secrets file. So whatever this one's user secrets was. Is the one we want to use. Yep, there we go. There's the correct user secrets file. And then appsettings.json file, let me make sure that's right. Appsettings.json. Anything weird in here? Okay, I think that's actually already right. But I'm not 100% that this is the correct project there. Let's do this, just to be sure. Okay. Alright, let's take a look. Hang on, let me catch up on chat real quick. Threats, useful. Do you have something specific in mind where I could use a thread? Something, maybe numerical computation, even though that's mostly in GPUs now. Game related, you wouldn't want logic to run on the UI thread. Yes, that's true, so you'd want multi-threading. Yep. And the reason that is coming up is because Async Awake is a play on async await, I believe, which is the common pattern for getting out into other threads and doing asynchronous programming in C#. Rexy, hey, welcome. Async Awake, yes. I assumed Dunny Pop was talking about your username. Okay, so that looks good. Let's take a look. Oh, actually, I just realized I should totally take the exact set of migrations out of this project and put them in that one. So, where are the migrations living? Collapse all these. So data, migrations, application DB context has nothing in it. It is an identity DB context, which means this we want to be the same thing. That's our application user object. Oh, right, you use that if you want to be able to get to that. Okay, yes, I forgot about that, so that's fine. So our application DB context is slightly better. So we're going to move that. And anything in migrations special at all? Nope. So we're going to get rid of data here. Now a couple of things might break because we're going to need to use different using statements to get into the right namespace. Yep. Oh yeah, that very well could be async awake, but I think it was the username. Rexy, I'm doing pretty well. How are you? Honeypop. Honeypop identifies as machine code. Yeah, that's right, Blub. Async awake totally assumed binary gender there. It definitely wasn't trying to be nice and now people are getting mad about it. Totally not that. Alright. That's good, Rex. Play any good games lately? Let's go ahead and build. Take a look at this again. Oh, I am going to run the project real fast. We're going to take a look and see how it's doing. No, you are going to open in this one, because I told you to. Thing. GameTracker, there we go. Okay, cool. Last thing I need to change here is I need to adjust the layout. So, where did I put layout? Layout, right here, and then over here, I need to open up shared layout. Right here on the toggle navigation thing, I have this. And then I want to come down here and in our nav bar, I'm going to do that. And I believe those are basically the only changes we've made other than maybe this. Oh, that is funny that it's still 2017 because we didn't start it in 2017, but we did laugh our butts off about the fact that 2017 is what it was generating for us in 2018 because Microsoft didn't, for some reason, base the year it chose on the date. We thought that was weird. Did you think that was weird? I think it's weird. One would expect Microsoft to be a little bit better about that. Maybe we hold them to too high a standard, though. We're all human. No, you had to send the motherboard for warranty issue. Oh, right, yeah, I forgot about that. Motherboards. When they fail, your computer's in big trouble. On a serious note, it's actually ridiculous how non-binary is actually slowly becoming a thing for gender options. So look, I need to find any motherboard. Yeah, good luck with that, Rexy. Hopefully you get back to gaming soon. At least you've got a Switch to play until your computer works again. Invalid operation. Unable to resolve type for data IRPOSI while attempting to access... Oh! Oh! Whoops. Whoops. Hang on, everybody. We know exactly what that problem is. Anybody want to guess? Any takers before I fix it? Anyone want to guess what the issue is? Anybody? I'm about to open the file we need to fix. Okay. No one's gonna guess. Here's the file. Alright, so the challenge here is we did not define our dependencies yet. So we need to hop over here. Right after this, I am going to add in, so I need to say services dot, I want to add a scoped iRepository. repository. I swear I've typed before. And then we're going to use an EF core repository. The next thing we need to do is we want to say add scoped, because we're going to need an iGame data service, and it is going to be a game data service. And we add default identity. Where's my cursor? There it is. We're going to say application user, identity user. I think we can get away with this, right? Identity role? What are the types in here? Is assist, Microsoft, T user, application user. Okay, I'm not going to worry about roles just yet then. We'll see how that works out for us. One question I actually have related to this, so we have the identity area that they created for us, which just has this, and I don't see anything special about that area. Then inside of pages, I want to try logging. Yeah, I want to try login and registration with this. I'm not sure what's going to happen, so we'll see. Yeah, Honey Pop, exactly. You think? Okay, stocks how they need to get anything. I guess prices come down a bit. Yes, I'm also really glad that prices are finally starting to come down for a lot of tech that we're using. Tried Core RT yesterday, worked perfectly well for my small console app, got one small XE. Yeah, Core is really nice stuff, Lordborn. Yeah, Rocky, we all have more stuff to learn, so one of the things that I'm always pressing to people is, I don't care how long you've been programming, I don't care how long you know, how well you know the technology, how long you've been working with any specific thing. We all run into issues, we all have to Google things. Monocreating, okay. I clicked no on your build pop-up. There we go. Yes. So the funny thing, Honey Pop, is that there are a lot of things that I don't actually recommend that people memorize or learn. What I usually recommend is you want to know what stuff is available, and you want to, understand how to use things. And the reason I say that is, it's really easy to go look up, like, oh, I know there's a formula that does this, or I know there's a library that does this. So just knowing that it exists lets you search for it. So you don't always need to know exactly how to use it. You need to know how to look it up when you need it. And that's the big thing. So Honey Pop, even though you're kidding about the, like, Google search is the answer, there is something to knowing what to search for. Build failed, would you like to continue? Thought it was my VS. Yeah, Katrina. Builds can fail. Okay. Let's see. Run the app again. No, Microsoft Identity User Manager has been registered. Alright, where do we need that? Here. Well, I could just go back to identity user. Let's see what happens when I do that. So we're trying to use our own user. Okay, so I'm going to need to tell it what our identity user manager is so we can use our custom user again. But for now, I'm going to nuke our application user because we're not actually putting any profile information on this just yet. So goodbye application user, which means we no longer need that. So the code that I just removed, just so you guys understand, if you want to add additional profile information to a user, what you do is you create that. So what I was just doing there with an application user, now I need to figure out what the user manager piece is that we needed to have there if I want to use that, but rather than dig into that, I'm just going to chop it for now. So that's basically if you want to have extra properties, and you can modify the table with those. Since we didn't have any properties on there, I wasn't too worried about it. Let's see, Stack Overflow is huge documentation of everything at this point. It pretty much is. It's not always right, and some of the questions are getting really out of date. That's part of the problem with it is, because the system doesn't allow you to ask a new question, but once a question has an answer, even if it's an old one, it's very difficult for a new answer to overtake the old answer. So so a lot of the answers I find are dated at this point. And yes, Katrina, I would love to know which project you're talking about that has a build error. Stack Overflow already helped me out a lot. Really good documentation. I already tried to practice myself not to use Stack Overflow or reduce it. I feel that by reading docs, I'd get better at understanding stuff more deeply. Lord Bourne, some Stack Overflow answers have very good explanations of why the answer is the way it is, and especially I would recommend when you're reading those. A lot of times people, so one thing I do, for example, is I try to reference the documentation. So I'll answer a question, then I'll reference what documentation is related to it. Follow that link. Go read what the actual information is from the docs. They're often really good, and especially for anything .NET Core related. So docs.microsoft.com, all of this stuff. Can I go to that link? Yeah. All this stuff is actually all the documentation that Microsoft has for ASP.NET and ASP.NET Core and .NET Core and all this stuff. Docs.microsoft.com is actually all in GitHub now. So if you're just reading along and you say, hey, that's not right, I can click on this edit button. It takes me over to this page. This is the page we were just reading. And I can go in and I can say, hang on a second, let me fix this. What are you guys, stupid? How do you have this way? Man, this was supposed to be like, we are working hard. Oh man, how could you guys be that dumb? And then, got rid of the thing. And then propose the change. Now, I'm not actually going to click that button because I don't really want to send them this pull request. But I could click that button, complete the pull request, and they would actually get a pull request that they could merge in to fix that. So I'm going to leave that. But the idea being, if you find something wrong with the docs, you could do that and just fix it. And if the docs seem wrong but you don't know how to fix it, or it's missing something, you can go over here and just say, hey, for example, need additional namespace for column annotation, right? Someone noticed a problem with the docs and told them about it. So you can create new issues and let Microsoft know that their documentation is deficient somewhere, and they really will get to it. There are some really smart people that work on their documentation. One of them I've known for a bunch of years is Bill Wagner. He is an awesome guy. Yep, that guy. This guy, Bill Wagner. He does documentation stuff with Microsoft. He's one of the people that does this. I think Rachel is as well. Oh, hey! Ha, ha, ha. I love that Twitter told me that. I think she also does docs work. Yeah, ASP.NET docs. So, they're really smart, and they do an awesome job with the documentation. They've actually got more than just those people. There's plenty of people that maintain that documentation. It's very good. You never learned a language, though it's through its documentation, but with online courses. So, the documentation is not a good place for learning the language. You want to learn the language by working with it, taking courses, reading books. There's actually a lot of them. They all have different, a variety of different information. So for example, being here on the stream, you can see what like real developer actually does when using the language. You could watch courses on, say, like, for example, I could self-promote and say DevIQ is a place where you could see like formal courses that are scripted and, you know, explain technology, different things like that. You can obviously get the same kind of stuff from Pluralsight. There are plenty of courses on that kind of thing. Reading books is also actually very useful. So there's a lot of good information. There are blogs you can go read to get tips and tricks. So lots of information. Quick draw. With what I just said, do I know anything about Phoenix template for users for example? Quick draw. I'm not sure what you're talking about. So that looks like the old ASP.NET web forms style. Not for users doing that. So I will say I'm at a loss. I don't know that. So okay, I'm gonna open up the games section here. See. Nice quick draw. Hawkbird Gaming. As a beginner of C# and development in general, you hear it's good to contribute to open source projects. I do recommend contributing to open source projects. The recommendation I would make Hawkbird Gaming for contributing to open source projects is find one that you find interesting. And yeah, as Async Awake mentions, there is the bot project that we do here. In fact, actually any of our projects, all of them are open source. So if you want to do anything with any of the projects we do here, you are welcome to send us pull requests on any of them. So if you go here, feel free to look at any of these. Snusmumricken TV. Welcome, thanks for following. And I apologize for butchering your name, but it's kind of my thing. Okay, so for example, you could contribute to any of these projects. Our GameTracker, Rock, Paper, Scissors, Boom, DevChatter bot. There are a few pieces that make it easy to assist us. If you go in here and you filter down, you go to the issues section, you filter down your label to good first issue. Some of these are easy for a beginner programmer to do. If you just want to do something. So for example, adding a viewers command might not be a terribly difficult one. I'm not sure how hard that one is, because I haven't looked into it. Give good error message if things are not if settings are not configured. This one, for example, would actually be a pretty easy one for a beginner developer to work on, and in fact you don't even have to configure your settings in order to get this one. So if you wanted to do this one, it would be nice and easy to just run it and have like an initial check when we get the configuration. If we didn't have good values for this, you could just come back and give good error messages about it. So this is a nice simple task that almost anyone could do. So yeah, if you're interested in contributing, just hop on there into one of the issues and comment and say, hey, I want to do this one, and then other people will know to leave it alone, and you can work on it. And actually, you don't have to limit yourself just to the ones that say good first issue. If something else sounds easy or interesting, the reason I recommend these is because you could ask us a question if you have one, but alternately you could pick any open source project that's out there. Our set just comes with the safety net of people you can ask questions of. So that's the only reason I recommend that one. Yeah, so sorry about that, Async Awake. You'll find the Discord link down below. I haven't gotten around to adjusting the bot, so everyone, you'll notice that Async Awake tried to use our Discord command over there, and the reason it didn't work is because I changed the way our bot works. It actually runs through an entirely different service than it did before, and I haven't made it load its custom commands out of the database yet. So once I have it do that, then commands like the Discord one will work again. So that's why that didn't work, we're actually running on we're not on the master branch right now, we're on a special branch, for the bot. But I've got it running so we can check that kind of stuff, which reminds me, is the bot running? Yes, it is. Just want to confirm. That's part of why we're doing this. This is kind of like stress testing, because it's actually running as... Here, I'm not sure I told you guys. Let me show you what the bot's running as right now. It's really cool, actually. So the bot is also an ASP.NET Core project, so I'm not too terribly worried about opening this up instead. However, if we hop down here, you will notice... actually, where is it? Background worker, right here. Okay. So our bot right now is actually running as an I-hosted service in ASP.NET Core. And so essentially the way it works is when the website starts, we run this code. When the website stops, we run this code. And that's literally how the bot is actually running right now. So it runs bot main when we start it, run, and it runs stop when we stop. And that is actually, this code is how it works. It's kind of crazy, actually. So, background worker. Okay, so jumping back over here, when we were running this, we definitely had an error on that page. Internal server error. Okay, here we go. Value is either too large or an unsigned byte. I think this is from the... Yeah, it's from this. So I'm going to comment this out for now. Because I don't think we actually need to run that code. Here we go. Okay, so there's our game list. There's our players and our game record page. Okay. Let's see what changed. That doesn't look like it changed at all. Oh, did the, That's funny. Our GUID changed. Okay, so some of our JavaScript stuff changed. We deleted those. I'm assuming that all these services like email sender got pulled into ASP.NET Core into shared libraries that we don't have, so we don't have to have our own anymore. There's new privacy pages. Looks like a lot of the account management pages all disappeared. Just gonna have a quick glance at these. So we moved that there, we got rid of that. Scope salon hosts. There's that. We no longer do anything with the account controller. Our CS proj file updated and simplified. those moved. Okay, I think that's ready to get committed. Let me try a couple of things here. Let's register a new account. It's funny. Brendan at DevChatter.com. That is a super secure password that no one will ever be able to guess. Okay, looks like I can register. And can I log in? Yep, I can log in. Okay, so registration and login are currently working, so I'm going to go ahead and commit this. Upgrade to ASP.NET Core 2.1. Let me go ahead and commit that. Okay, so now that we've got those going, there are a couple of changes we want to make. No, Blub, it wasn't password. That would be insecure. What I actually used was password 123 exclamation point. Oh man, super secure. But wait, I shouldn't have typed that into chat. Nobody write that down. That's my bank password. Also, it's the same password I use on my luggage. Actually, that makes me wonder how frequently have I been pwned? I don't know if you all know this website. Password 123 exclamation point. Oh no. Oh man, it's been used 576 times. That's actually kind of impressive. Oh, yeah, there's a capital letter, there are numbers, and there is a symbol in that password. Super secure. Hawkbird Gaming, you have another question. You're working on an app with a .NET Core 2.0 backend and Angular 5 frontend, and you're trying to get SSO to work with an AD environment, but you can't get it to work. Got any experience with this scenario? Hawkbird Gaming, I don't have that specific set of experience. However, I would guess that that might actually be one of the templated options in ASP.NET Core. So Hawkbird Gaming, I would take a look at that, and if not, that seems like a normal enough scenario that you can find an article that someone has written on the interwebs. Heist. Zenus. Regarding identity, how come I can't find the controller or CSHTML created automatically? Oh, and hi. Yes, hi. So when I did the ASP.NET Core 2.1, this was the thing I was pointing out, is that it doesn't create those controllers and stuff for you by default. That's not to say you can't make your own controller folder and add your own controllers. You'll still be able to do that. But some of those CSHTML files aren't getting created by default anymore. So my assumption, and I don't know that this is correct yet, but I'm going to actually take a quick look, is that this package reference right here is including some of that information. So here's how we're going to take a look. If you take a look in your dependencies here, I'm going to pull this to the middle of the screen so you can all see it a little bit better. So inside of our Solution Explorer, I expanded the NuGet folder here. This is that dependency that we showed over there. If I expand this, you will notice that there are a whole bunch of packages that are included when you include that package. If I go to ASP.NET Core.Identity, you'll see I've got Identity and Identity Framework Core and Identity UI. Haha, that name looks promising. Right there, Identity UI sure does look to me like the one we're thinking it is. So if we open this up, we will see that it has identity UI views, stores, embedded static files. So this needs to be able to have static files, and I wonder what is in here. So let's hit the Google. Google, please answer my questions. Please answer all of my questions exactly as I ask them, Google. Google servant. What is it called? It is... So... .NET Core. We're calling this Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.identity.UI.views.dll. Searching for this. Okay, what does it say about this? Okay, here we go. Change password HTML file. So this is a change password model. Takes in this using Razor Inject. So yep. Pages account manage view start. View import status message. Where are they? Account disabled. Download personal data. Manage enable authenticator. Manage external logins. Generate recovery codes. Manage index. Manage personal data. Reset. Blah blah blah. Where are they? Yeah, so if you take a look at these, you'll notice that this is all object, razor page, base, page, show recovery codes. So these are all those pages that we had before. Evening, S&B, welcome. So that's why they all disappeared out of here. They all got moved into there. So that Microsoft ASP.NET Core .app, this project added all those controllers and views that we had previously, so that's where all that went. Oh, thank you, Blub. Much appreciated. So github.com/that. Yep, there you go. So they moved it all inside of Identity, so you don't need to have it in your project anymore. So that was very nice of them. So that is what Microsoft did with those. I think it's fun to kind of dig in and just, you know, we sort of figured out where that was coming from on our own, which I thought was neat. Okay, so we have games here. We can look at a game. We can edit a game. I think on the details of the game page, this right here, so that is details page right here. I want to add in some kind of a rating for the player that we for who we currently are. So that is a good question. How do we want to display this? Or alternately, we could do the structure a little bit weird and just make a page for adding reviews of games. Yeah, Zenus 2127, no problem. Glad to offer some insight into that. So here's the question. Do we add in a new model for a review that way or this way? So we're going to go over here to model. I'm going to say add a new class. We're going to call this game review. Game review, game rating. We're going to call it review for now. As part of a review, you can have a rating. Because you can only have one review and rating for a game anyway, so we'll tie these together. So we are going to make this a base entity. We are going to give this a game. We are also going to give this an application, an identity user. Really? Oh, we might not have that referenced in here. That could be the problem. I wanted identity user, but it's not referenced in this core project here because we don't know what that is here in core. Maybe it's a player that gets it? It's a good question. Guess we're going to reference identity in here. We're going to allow it to be known because we are so tied to Microsoft ASP.NET Core identity here. I'll let this come in here for now, although I'm kind of iffy on it. Blub, that's because it's waiting for everyone to join. So, we need everyone to join, I think. So, I believe it takes a full heist. User and prop. We're gonna say int and say rating text. Okay. Let's give some restrictions on this. No, not that one. We want component model, but we won't find it there. Yeah, it's a really bad idea to take a long time on a heist. So hang on. There we go. I joined the heist, everyone. Aren't you proud of me? Okay, so we're gonna do that for now. What is it? It's component model? Yeah. That's the namespace we want. Let me borrow this. Using that. Okay, what is that in? You gonna tell me which project that's in? Hey, Cat. Thanks, Jolie. Yeah, just knock that green screen around. Much appreciated. Cat wants to mess with the green screen. Okay, I won't even worry about it. We're not even going to do it. We're just going to do this instead. Application DB context. So yes, exactly. See, we got happy purring kitty. See? Cat. Okay, so what I want to add here is I want to add ratings and I think we can get away with adding those. We want to consider what the aggregate here is. So we have games, players, and game records right now, which I think are pretty valid. The game record I am expecting to have multiple tables get stored as part of a game record. So that is actually what is going to be in that one. So that's going to be a bit of an aggregate. So that'll be an interesting one. Furkanarin 2003. Do I have kids? Yes, I. What kids? No. Kid, yes. I have a kid. So, but I also have a cat. I actually have 2 cats. So, the cat wants to be part of the stream. So I brought him in for a second. He says, "Hey, I'm cute. Bring me on." So yeah, cat stream. So anyway, so that would be the plan. So there's clearly going to be an aggregate for a game record because there's a couple of things you need to store with that. You need to store what game was played and what day it was played, but you also need to store for each player, that they played in the game. And so since you can have as many players play in a game as you want, we have to make that a many-to-one relationship with our game record. So it doesn't make sense to get a game record but not also pull all the people that played in it, so that's why it gets the concept of an aggregate. So in domain-driven design, the idea is that in any situation where pulling one piece, you'd want to have all the rest of it anyway, and so like that a player played in a game is sometimes useful on its own, but not as much as you'd think. For the regular usage of the application. So okay. Say bye to everybody, Julie. Bye everybody. Meow. 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 He's not really meowing. Database we're using for this project is, we access it using Entity Framework Core, and it is a SQL server that is stored right here. So it is a SQL local DB. No, questions are totally fine. It is right here. Yes, MSSQL. Specifically a local DB, though. That is the type that it is. So what we want to have here is a game review. Game reviews. Does my game record already? Yeah, my game record already has play records. So this basically then becomes an aggregate, and we're going to want to have some stuff around how that works. So that'll make sense how that works and why it works the way it does. Okay, so we've got this running. So I mentioned that we're using EF Core. So, along with EF Core, we need to make sure that we get a migration. So that's actually how we update the database, because if you looked, you would notice there is not a table. So there's game records, game, players, play record, but there is not one for reviews. But also I notice game record player. I want to comment that out because I want to make sure that ASP.NET Core 2.1 didn't change things. So 2.0 used these tables. I want to make sure 2.1 doesn't require that I change it. So the first thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go ahead and say add migration test, and I need to say project devchatter.gametracker.data.ef. Now I need to specify the project because my application DB context is not inside of the web project. It's not the startup project, so that's why I had to do that. This one is not a game, it is a game tracker. So we do have some other game type stuff that we do here. But this one is about recording games that you'd played. So think like you play a board game with your friends, you might want to... what did this do? Alter column, that. Max length, 128. Huh. That's strange that it changed these. I don't know why it wanted to change those. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to undo these changes. So we're going to discard those. I'm going to discard that change for now. And the reason why is this. I want that added as a NuGet package if I can. So I want to open this, add a new manage NuGet dependencies. And it is Microsoft.ASP.NET Core Identity. And I need to search in here, not in there. And what was it? .store? We'll see if that gets the one we needed. Whew, that may have more dependencies than we want to bring in. I might be canceling that too.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
What a lovely day! Welcome, thanks for following. Microsoft Extensions Identity Stores. Let's take a look over here. Identity user, Microsoft ASP.NET Core Identity. Sure, I accept. Open, please. Yep, it's that. Okay, cool. Wonder what that got included as part of. So, I'm going to go back into here. I'm going to search for this. There it is. So we're going to include that one and not the other one. So, installed. Clear that. We're going to get rid of this one because we don't need it. What did this run on? Net Standard V2. Yes! Perfect! Thank you, Microsoft, for actually getting that right. Okay. We have a bot project, which is not really a game, but it has little games in it. Yeah, exactly. Great explanation there, Async Awake. And additionally, I will comment that at some point in the future, I mean, this could be months down the road, I have every intention of using Unity at some point and actually doing some kind of game development. We'll probably bring someone on for that. I've done only a small amount of game programming myself, so I'd rather bring on someone that's more experienced with that than I am. And yes, we are doing Entity Framework code first. Version conflict detected. ASP core 2.1. For cryptography internal. Let's try cleaning and building. Okay, so this is saying that we have we are referencing two different projects there. So we have tracker core 2.111, 2.11, and then something else is referencing 2.1.1. Let's do this. Manage NuGet packages for the solution. Does something have updates that it needs? Ah, let's open this. Here's the problem. Well, here's a problem. Net Core App 2.1 is what this is. I'm going to try to get away with not specifying the versions on these. See if we can do that. Get rid of those. There we go. That should help a little bit. Build this, then I'm going to need to refresh this page. Oh, just didn't want to actually put that version in there apparently. Edit this. Yeah. Same version. Okay. NuGet for the solution. Build just this project. It's interesting, now it has this problem. Okay, so apparently adding that dependency to core really messes stuff up. Steeplef, welcome, hi. So we're gonna remove this for now. Not sure why that's given us such a hassle there. Yeah, that is the stupid thing that's causing all that trouble. Thanks, Cat. You guys didn't realize this was a cat stream? This is, you know, IRL cat stream. Updates, EF project, and dependencies. I can type. Let's update all of these to new versions. Cat stream. Meow 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 meow. Hi everybody. Hi. That is correct, Async Awake. Your cat's... yes, I'm actually standing the entire time, so... See? Standing! See? Look, I'm not rolling around, I'm walking. So, I stand for the whole stream. There we go. No, I'm just, comfy standing. If I sit down too long, I just get kind of, like, crazy. Okay, so code generation design updated. Alright, that's fine. Update to the latest version. Yes, it is a standing desk, so it is up, you know, quite high, in fact. I like my desk. It's a nice one. Works pretty well. Let's go here. So code generation, it's saying it can't do 2.1.1. I'm not sure I believe it, so I'm going to do this. And just see what happens when I do that. See if it reverts me back or not. That didn't fight it. Cat, stop it. And then core app 2.11 instead of 2.1. Well, interesting. Maybe in that case it means I should try getting rid of the version numbers and see what happens. Exploring around in this stuff, huh? Yeah, see, this forced this version. I don't know why I did that. Get rid of the version number, see what happens here. Thank you, Cat. How did you know? Jolie knew that I wanted claws in my legs, so he decided to put them there. Alright, we'll try it this way. Reference the package directly from the project. Really? I'm just surprised that it's having that trouble. Okay. Oh, right! This is part of that. That's why it's freaking out. Duh! Brendan, you idiot! I forgot. Remember how we did this whole thing in the beginning, how we said we were switching from Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.all to .app? Well, that's one of the reasons for that is that Entity Framework Core is included in the app one, so we don't need a separate reference to it. So, and the cat's messing with the green screen. The illusion is ruined, everyone. I'm standing in front of a green screen. I'm not, in fact, standing in front of a monitor right now. Thanks, cat. I do like the cat. He's very nice. He just gets called cat when he's being annoying. Like right now. It's tempting to scare him out of the room, since he really wants attention right now. Okay, so we have this. Let's go over here. First off, update version, update more project references. Next thing we're going to do is this. Add migration. This is game review. Wait, hang on. We still have the test one out there. Let me confirm if we still have the test one or not. Whether that cleared up. Was not possible to find. Okay, guys, this is really hard for you to read. Oh. Well, in that case, let's do this. I'm gonna go ahead and lie in a second here. I'm gonna tell a falsehood in a second once I do that. What? I hit 0. What are you talking about? Lies! I am confused by that error message. That should not be an issue. Well, either way, I am not going to sit around and mess with that one. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. Clean worked. Then I am going to open this in File Explorer, and then I am going to open up a... Wait, what the? PowerShell. There we go. We are going to say .NET build. What happens when we try to build this? Okay, premise package direction from the project. That is an annoying error. There's nothing in that. Oh, whoa, hang on, hang on. Are you all seeing the same thing I'm seeing here? It pulled something using full framework. Microsoft Composition. Why is it pulling that in? Net standard, net core 2.0. I'm going to remove that version. We're not going to specify any versions we don't need to specify. Net standard, okay. Those all make sense. I'm actually wondering why our EF project needs to be net core instead of net standard. Captain Craft, welcome. Welcome crew of Captain Craft as well. Ahoy. Welcome aboard. Greetings. Greetings and welcome. We are getting an annoying message here from Visual Studio. It is lying to us. C++ to C#, that's a good switch. We have very different code, but it generally works the same way. No, I don't think anyone will get injured. We know how to fight back. We have plenty of emotes to spam in chat. We can spam emotes. So we're all set. Okay, if I remove those, it should re-add them when I build. Because those are actually required dependencies that I removed. I'm going to go ahead and remove that as well. And I'm going to re-add that to these projects. Well, that's still there, so it looks like it didn't actually get rid of them, probably because it can't out of this one, because this is a web project, so removing this dependency is kind of crazy. So we're going to hop over here, we're going to add in a dependency. There we go. Now, let's go ahead and do a rebuild, and we'll see if everything breaks or not. Okay, well, there we go. We'll go with that then. So, I told you all that I was going to lie to you. Here is how I was going to do it. I was going to hop over here, and I was going to take a look at what the current state is, and we're going to say add, what is it, source, DevChatter, whoops, DevChatter.GameTracker / DevChatter.GameTracker.csproj. We are also going to stage, Magical Khachapuri, and I apologize if I butchered your name there, but welcome, thanks for following. Let's see, source, devchatter.gametracker.data.ef / devchatter.gametracker.data.ef.csproj. Get status, if I could type. Okay, so AppDB context and game review, those are the only ones that we've got. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and say git commits --amend --no -edit. So this is where I lie to you. So what this does, and now I'm not lying here, I guess technically this is going to lie. So when I run this, what that actually does is that adds that to the previous commit as if I had done that to begin with. The amend says, amend your previous commit, and then it says the no edit says that I don't actually want to edit that commit, so leave it as is. If I'd left that part off, it would pop up a notepad window, and I could modify the metadata associated with my previous commit, but I don't really want to. So now if I do a git status, you'll see that I only have those two files, and if I look over here, you'll see there are only these ones also. And if I look at my history, you will see that the deletion of those are now in here. So the removal of that code is part of my previous commit now. So it's as if I did it correctly to begin with. So that's the lie. So yeah, Captain Craft. So Captain Craft makes a great point. If I had pushed this change out already, then when I do that amend to my commit, what happens is I am then left with the only option of force pushing that out. So because it is actually on the other server, I have to do a force push, which means I don't care that I'm actually going to destroy the data on the other repository. Go ahead and do it anyway, which is a very dangerous thing to do, so you don't want to do it unless you absolutely are certain that it is safe to do and you really need to do it. Just a little trick I did there of not making a new commit and preserving history and making it look like I didn't make a mistake. That's not worth it. And Zoltralord, welcome, thanks for following. What a day, what a lovely day. Okay, so that gets that solved. And let's take a look now at our code. So our site should run. Here it is. We go over into this, and things are working correctly, so let's go down here. And we are going to try running this again. We want to take a look at what the test data was. Hey, welcome. Hopefully you're having a good time. So this is for some reason, there's a little bit of a data change between ASP.NET Core 2.0 and 2.1, so I'm cool with that. I'm gonna let this go through, so not with that name, not with this name. It's not gonna be called test. So if you take a look at the files that it created here, it's like, oh, number test. No. I just do that because I know that those are bad and I will not commit them. Anything named test isn't test like that isn't getting committed. Cheap Intentions, welcome. Thanks for following. So hopefully everybody is enjoying the stream right now. So basically migrations, it's gonna look at my data model. So this is called code first in Entity Framework, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna look at my class objects and figure out what it needs to do to make my current database look the same as these classes. So this is ASP.NET Core 2.1 migration. So because this is just the upgrade migration, I'm going to put this in with this name so that I know that that's what this one is. So we're going to let this go ahead and go in as just that piece. So it's going to go in on its own. Migration from ASP.NET Core 2.0 to 2.1 changes. Yes. What? People are more than welcome to follow the channel. I do not mind. Okay, so now what we need to do is this. We have that migration in there. Now we actually want to do the one that we've been waiting for. So we wanted to check that first, see what was in there. So in order to get EF to recognize this, I just uncomment that. So it tells Entity Framework, hey, you're using a game review class. So it's going to look at this and say it has game, rating, and text. What I am going to put on this, additionally, I want to get a foreign key on this, but we were having a little bit of trouble with our ASP.NET identity stuff, so we'll fix that in a little bit. But first, I'm going to send this in, because I can add that foreign key in a minute. So, we're going to go ahead and change what our migration is. We're going to call this create game reviews table. So I like the convention of create such and such table as a nice way, so when I see that in my migrations, I know, okay, I'm, creating new tables or something like that. And welcome, Zultralord. Thank you for subscribing. Please enjoy your DevChatter hype emote that you may now spam in chat whenever you get excited about stuff we're doing here. And in case you didn't notice, that is a little dinosaur that has little hand grabber thingies on there because he's a little guy. He doesn't have long arms, so he can't hold his hype sign up very high. But welcome. Much appreciated, Zultralord. I am glad you're enjoying the stream. So this EF migration that we create here, for anybody that doesn't know EF or .NET or anything like that, because we did code first, it goes ahead and creates a table. It creates it using the name that it intuited. And welcome, Sack of Joy. So it basically used this name as the name for the table, and it adds the columns based on our values. So we had game, rating, and text, and what it actually should have done was made a game ID and a foreign key. So game ID, so it actually automatically figured out, because we had a game object on there, like the full class and not just an ID, it knew that we had a foreign key relationship. So it said, oh, that's a foreign key, because I already know about that object. And so it said, we'll make that a game ID. It creates a foreign key constraint right here. And then it also created an index on game ID. So super convenient in case we want to reference it based on that. So very, very nice stuff. Mr. Bubbles, hey, welcome. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. One other thing I wanted to mention to people that might be new in here, I am planning a series of episodes of DevChatter where we are going to be starting from scratch simple programs and projects using VS Code, so people that want to learn C# don't know it. Whether you're completely new to programming or just new to C#, we're going to do some simple apps together. It's going to be like follow-along style stuff, so we'll have everybody install VS Code, and we'll just write easy programs together. So nice, easy stuff like that. So hopefully anyone in here who is a beginner or new to C# joins us for those, and it should be a blast. Bubs, hopefully you're enjoying work. Things are going well. Having a pretty good stream today. And Anthony K95, welcome. Thanks for following. And yeah, Bubs, you would be welcome to join in. I'm going to be making a video beforehand that has the instructions for how to get set up. So if you are interested in being involved in that, you want to follow along when we do our learning to program in C# stuff, go ahead and click the follow button so you get alerted when we do that. And additionally, if you want to be more involved and discuss, down below you will find a link to our Discord server. And if you don't know, Discord is it's a chat application. It's usually used by gamers, but a lot of Twitch streams use it as well. So you can check that out. Okay, so this is going to create our table for us. So there's two things that I want to show you related to this. First off, I could come down here. Renerick, welcome, thanks for following. I could type update database down here, and I don't know how well you guys can see that, because that text is kind of small, but I typed update-database right here, and that will actually run all of our migrations to get our database up to the version that it wants to be. But I don't actually want to do that because I want to show you a neat thing that's in ASP.NET Core that I really love. So here is what it's going to do. I am going to run this app. So I just hit Control F5 and it automatically runs it. Now when I visit this page, ooh, it's not going to get me yet. Because I'm not using it. Okay, if I want that to work, I'd have to actually add in the code to do it. Async Awake, have a good one. Take care. Don't do anything crazy and enjoy the rest of your night. Let's see. So, what I wanted to do is this. Let me go ahead and make a quick page for this first. And you'll understand what I mean then. So I'm going to make a folder for now, and I'm going to make a folder, and we're going to call this Game Reviews. Inside of Game Reviews, I'm going to add in a new Razor page, but I'm actually going to tell it to use Razor pages, plural, using Entity Framework CRUD. So this is actually going to automatically generate a handful of pages for us. Now I need to pick my model class, and I am going to use Game Review. It already found my data context, so it found my data access class for me automatically. And then I just want to click Add. Yeah, Janiscu. Exactly. It does all the CRUD for me. It's my CRUD framework. Okay, so now hands off, no touching the keyboard. Hang on while I generate like 8 files. Alright, so it creates 8 files for us. Fixable, welcome, thanks for following, and I apologize to anybody for butchering your name. If I did, tell me. Oh wait, I can't count. I said 8 files. That's like 10 files. Who am I kidding? Made like 10 files for me. Okay, here's why I had it make those 10 files for me. I am going to run this project again. And watch what happens when I navigate to one of those pages. So Game Record is the one we had before, but I want to go to Game Reviews. And when I go here, see this page? This is what I was talking about. This is what ASP.NET did automatically. So instead of typing update-database, which I could do down right behind my head, right there. So instead of doing that, what I can do instead is I can click this button here. This button that says apply migrations. So literally this, because I went to a page that is trying to use an object that it says, this isn't in SQL, I don't have this table. It stepped in and said, hey, you know what? You didn't run this migration, so this is my update to 2.1 migration that we talked about. And then this is the next migration. This is the game reviews table that it's depending on. It says, I don't have those. You should get up to date. So it tells me that I can go to the package manager console and type this command. This is the one that I have queued up right behind my head right here. It's right there. Or alternately, I could go to the command line and use the .NET CLI tool and say EF database update. So that's also the other way I could do it is right in here. So for example, the .NET CLI I could type in right here and I could say .NET EF database update. So that command right there, I could type that, that would work. But more interesting is I can click this big blue button right here. Oh, nope, okay. So there's an error applying the migration. Normally you could click that button and get away with it. But I love the fact that it even knows which migrations are missing. I think the problem is the update migration might be destructive. We'll find out. Let's do this. .NET EF database update. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I can't do that. I have to do this. So we're going to say update database. We're going to say project. And it is going to be DevChatter GameTracker. And I'm going to pull this up so you guys can see what I'm typing. I know it's small. There. Okay, now you can see the text. Sure there is. Big blue button. Yeah, I know. I apologize. The button, it should work. It should work. Okay, so data.ef. DevChacker data.ef. That should be the project. Is dependent on column name. Alter table filled because one or more objects. Okay, yep, it is that one. Yeah, so here is the challenge. It is this migration in here. It is these ones that are failing. So since they're committed, I'm going to try deleting them real fast and then try running this again. So we're gonna build. I'm gonna cheat this a little bit here. Let's hype this thing up a little bit more. Okay, look, yeah, there's only one. Look at that. Try refreshing the page. Oh man, see? I won't let this stuff yeah, see? I hyped up the button and it worked. Only small amounts of cheating involved. Yeah, I was pretty happy about that. Okay, so that is how we do a game review there. The one thing that I notice about our little CRUD thing, it didn't automatically wire up the foreign key reference to the game, so we're going to have to wire that one up ourselves. But it is still there. So, we're going to have those. Okay. So, we nuke those migrations, but update this one. Where does it show the percentage? There it is. There we go. Okay, well, either way, I'm going to have to fix that migration, because there was clearly something wrong with the migration that we did of the ASP.NET Core 2.0 upgrade to 2.1, but I will fix that. So a couple of things I want to mention. So I mentioned to all of you that we are going to be doing a Learn to Program thing. You can check here for updates. When I schedule those, I'm going to schedule them as events on our Twitch account. So expect to find them there. Additionally, if you want to know when we are streaming... Is my bot still running? I think it is. schedule -4. So if you want to know when our next stream is, you can check that out down below on the Twitch stream, or you can use our schedule command right there. If you know your UTC offset, you can type it in there. We have one of our users is actually working on a pull request. It's not to us yet, but it is supposed to make it so that we can use time zone abbreviations and respond with those. So if you ask for the schedule and you say what time zone you're in, it should report back our schedule that way also. So we're going to get that in our bot so it can do that little schedule trick like that. Other things, if you want to contribute to any of our projects, everything we do here on stream is out on GitHub, so you can go to github.com/devchatter and check that out. And I should also mention that if any of you are interested in chatting with us outside of the stream, the best way to do that is to join our Discord group, and that means that you can go and edit invite link, never expires, no limit, copy, paste it in here, there you go. Yeah, S&B, we have been streaming for 2.5 hours right now. So our Discord link that I just posted in chat, you can also find it down below. And then the other thing that I do want to mention to people is that if you want to see some of our old videos, see our chatbot, see how it started, anything like that, the way to do that is to go to our Twitch channel and check out our videos section, so you can see how we got to where we are by going to the videos section up there. And for any videos that are older than that and are no longer on Twitch, you can go to our YouTube channel and check that out. So those are the places to check for that stuff. Our next stream is going to be on Thursday, so I am going to wrap up here, but our next stream is on Thursday, so that's 2 days from now. And our Thursday stream starts early, so normally we start at 2 p.m. my time, but we start at noon my time on Thursday, so 2 hours earlier than we normally start. And welcome, Subtil. Well, I'm gonna say sub. Welcome, sub. Kazru. Yes. I will have some longer streams, so we'll make sure that you can catch them, Kazru, but my recommendation would be try to show up a little bit earlier, because Thursdays we're going to start even earlier, so that'd be really rough for me to stick around all the way for you to show up on Thursdays. But as I mentioned, Thursdays are a good one. We start a little bit early, which means we can run a little bit later. And then Saturdays as well. So don't forget, should be good stuff. You can schedule it on your calendar, and you can hit the follow button to get notified. I think I mentioned everything else. I want to thank everybody for following today. There were a whole bunch of you. You're all awesome. I also wanted to thank C# Fritz channel for auto-hosting us today. And I also want to thank the Visual Studio channel for hosting us today. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and take a look at both of those. So C# Fritz and Visual Studio. And then in addition to that, we also got a host from Captain Craft. Sorry, brain. So at Captain Craft, I will shout out Captain Craft as well. So those are 3 other programming streams that are worth checking out. And I wanted to thank Crimson Green for resubbing for his 4th month in a row, so thank you, Crimson Green. And I also want to thank Zultralord for subscribing as well. You guys are awesome, and I really appreciate it. I love that you guys are enjoying the content, and expect to see some good stuff coming soon. I am working on getting us some guests lined up, so expect those to happen soon. And I'm probably going to have to write a little bit of code off stream to get us where I want us to be. Anytime I write code off stream, I will talk about it at the beginning of the next stream. just so that you guys can see what it was I was doing. And then one other thing I do want to mention. If you go to DevChatter.com, the site doesn't look very nice yet. However, it's there. So you might remember that we did an episode recently where we were setting up YM to be able to auto-generate our static DevChatter.com site. And we have this here now. And this is actually hosted on the static site preview on Azure. Might live there forever, might not, who knows, we'll find out. And Steeplef, welcome, thanks for following. I thought Steeplef already followed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you didn't follow yet, but welcome, thanks for following. I'll assume that means that you want to catch our next stream. And it's got like information, other things like, oh, that's funny. When it file not founded that's weird. Anyway, it's got some quirks. It's on a preview. We're gonna figure that out. We're gonna host it somewhere. It should be fun. I want to get it automated so I can show you guys how that automation works. I want to get it to the point where all we do is commit files to the master branch of our project. It'll automatically generate the site with YM and push it out to wherever we're hosting it, and it should be pretty nice. So look forward to that. And other than that, have a great day. Happy coding. Enjoy your middle of your week, and I will catch you all on Thursday. Take care.